Okay, so welcome. That's a little bit too loud. There we go. If you guys have any questions as I go through this, let me know. I'm just going to be kind of working on where I left off, because to be honest, it's been at least a month since I've taken a look at this project. So let's see where we're at. Oh, this is not what I want. Oh, okay, so I do have an actual main window. Alright, cool. So let's hit play here, and let's see how this goes. Alright, so last time I think I made it so that I could actually move around. Okay. And I have the pieces kind of fading out, and those combos are happening. And then, okay, that's not too bad. That's the main idea I wanted. Let's work on maybe some effects or something like that. If you guys have questions about anything I'm doing as I'm going through this, like I said, feel free to let me know. I've got the chat open here so I can actually see what people are asking. Alright. So I think the next thing, what art did I make? So I've got some UI in here. I've got some progress bars. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's try and make a progress bar. So what I want is the top UI here. So I'm going to got the background, the spell doc. Let's make a new child node. And this is going to be a canvas layer, so that I can have this be, no, I want it down here, so that I can have this be something that will move with the scene if the scene needs to change. So like if I add a screen shake or something like that. And I'm going to rename this to, we'll call this immovable UI. And then let's make a child node. And as a child node, I'm going to make just a control node. I'm going to take the UI, I'm going to make it its own scene. In the scenes folder, I'll make a new folder that I'm going to call UI. And I'll save it there. And then let's open this scene up. So my main idea for the UI, I have a lot of stuff here, so I wanted let's change this from a control node, change type to I think I want a texture rect. I do. And let's put this top UI in there. Why did I want to do it this way? And it's been like a month since I looked at this project, so I have no idea why I planned to do it this way. I guess I wanted like the villain's portrait here, and then I could have like player health down here or something. I'm not super sold on that right now. But I'll leave it anyway. So this is going to be my top UI background. And then, as a child of this, I'm just going to make a texture progress bar, which is a progress bar that you can add a texture to so that it fills up over time. And I want it to fill left to right, my textures. So for under, I have a background. And then for progress, I have this. So, there it is. So min value, max value. So if I put this at like 50, that's weird. Why would I have made my background so much bigger? Did I make my background a lot bigger? 256 by 64. Yeah, what's wrong with me? That's weird. Alright, so let's just go back to here. No, I'll leave that. For now, it's fine. I am going to move its margin down a little bit. Oh no, I don't want to do that because... Right. I'll just leave it like that for now. I'll have to just make new art. That'll fix it. Alright, so save all my scenes. Cool. Now if I go back here, I've got that. Ugh, it doesn't look great. The way it kind of goes in there. If I reset my background, I'm going to have to reset my start positions, but that's okay. I'll just reset my well, not my background, my game board. So let's do top. Right now it's 256. Let's go 300. Okay, and that was adding 44, which means I need to add 44 to my Y position. 758 plus 44 is 802. And let's see if I hit play, if I just messed everything up. Nope, still looks okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now, for that health bar, I want it to actually function as a health bar, so... Oh man, that's annoying me more than I thought it would. I'm going to go back to my UI, and then I'm just going to remove the under graphic. And clear. I'm going to leave the top graphic there, the progress graphic, and I'm going to move it like... I think I like it here. I totally just messed it up, didn't I? If I go to 100. Yeah, it's only ever going to be that big. That's fine. I'll put it like right there. Okay, cool. Now, back to the main window. Alright, so that's going to represent the player's health. So I'm going to rename this from texture progress to player health. And movable UI. So we're going to have to receive some signals from the board to this UI. I'm actually going to duplicate this. And I'm going to call this one enemy health. And this one shouldn't be green. We should make this some other color. So if I go to visibility, I'm going to change the modulate property. Doesn't look great because I'm putting orange over green. It's not too bad. What if I just, no. Let's do that. A little bit, let's go. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now my movable UI is going to have a script that's going to control those bars. So we'll add a new script. I'm going to put this in the UI scenes, movable UI.gd. Let's create that. And so this is going to need to know, I can make it need to know what the player health is, but it's probably better if I keep all the player stuff on its own thing here. So if I had like a node for the player stuff, it would be better if this, all this really needs to know is what value and what max value player health and enemy health should have. So I'm going to create a function here. Call this change player health value. And this is going to require, say, player min, or not player min, player max, player current. And then we'll make another function just like it for the enemies. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I can hear myself through my monitor, but I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, so anyway, change enemy health value, enemy max, enemy current. Alright, so now I'm going to make a reference to the two bars. So on ready var player bar is equal to player health, and on ready var enemy var is equal to enemy health. Alright, cool. So then in here, doing the player health, I want to do player bar dot max value is equal to player max, and player bar dot, is it current? I guess it's just value, is equal to player current. Alright, and then same thing for the enemies. Okay, cool. So, honestly, I'm actually kind of curious. Can you guys hear me? Say something if you can. Otherwise, I'm worried I set up my microphone wrong. If I look in Streamline, yeah. Okay, it looks like my microphone's out there. Alright, I'm just gonna pretend like it is. You guys can tell me if you have questions. Alright, cool. So then in my main window here, I've got my UI, my game grid. This position 2D, I think this was for me to set stuff, but I'm actually going to end up using this. So I'm going to call this the player bar position. And then I'm going to duplicate this and make an enemy bar position so that I can have a reference to the position in the scene. Okay. Alright, hold on 1 second here. Hello. Okay, cool. You guys can't hear me. Sorry. I just needed to make sure. Alright, this is gonna be, like, I want to have a little effect. Save the scene and I'll show what effect I want. A little effect where when the pieces match, and there's like a +1, +2, +3 or whatever, that then goes to where it should go. And if it's the attack piece, I want it to go directly to the enemy bar so that we're taking direct damage from the enemy, which is why I have this enemy bar position. And I'm going to move, save this, there we go. I'm going to move the enemy bar position to be where the enemy bar actually is. And let's say 54 and 802 is good. Alright, cool. Now, I'm going to make a player and a enemy node. So child node, and this is just going to be in node 2D. I'm going to call this player. Oh yeah, and I forgot, it actually doesn't matter if my UI is up or down, because it renders on top no matter what, since it's a canvas layer. And I'm going to duplicate this node and call this enemy. So since I want to focus on like boss battles and stuff, I want my enemy to be able to have different nodes that represent the powers. So like some of the powers I was thinking of that the enemies could have is, if we open this up, oh wow, okay, I did something there. Okay, what did I do? Oh, I moved the... That's what I did. Ooh, hey, stop. So, this enemy bar position. Yeah, I didn't move that, I moved the UI. So, can I just undo everything I did? Nothing to undo. Okay, cool. Alright, so the enemy bar position is this is a child in the main window. Does the main window have a weird transform? No. That's weird. Because it's these right here. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I wasn't actually grabbing them. I was grabbing something else. So the enemy bar position, I'm going to put this to, say, like, I don't know, 400, 746. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll come back to it. So for my main window, I'm going to add a child node, node 2D. This is the player. And I'll duplicate that for the enemy. So some of the enemy powers I was thinking of would be, like, as you move around, maybe the enemy would freeze some blocks, so that, like, if I wanted to go over, up, over, maybe they'd freeze this block to make it harder for me to get that match. So they'd kind of do that randomly and add, like, a freeze effect to it. Another thing that they could do is, like, I don't know, maybe randomly teleport your player with another piece on the board. Or they could add junk pieces, or maybe take away your mana. But then each enemy would have, like, an elemental affinity, so that down here you'd have spells that you could use. So, like, you'd have a card that's Fire Burst or something like that that takes 6 fire mana, and you could play that during your turn after you collected all your mana. Whereas these will do direct damage, and then these purple ones you can use to, I don't know, buy stuff at a shop or something. So that's my thought currently. So let's so I want these attack ones to do damage directly to the enemy health. So let's first give the enemy a script, and I'm going to put this in, so I've got scenes. Let's make a new folder that I'm going to call enemy, and we'll save this here. And I want my enemy to have, we'll call this max health, and then we'll just do current health, and then Oh, and not. Good lord. Alright, and then I also want to make a signal. We'll have this be like display health. And then when we're ready, we'll emit the signal to display health. And that signal is going to need a couple arguments to go with it. Send out the max health and the current health. And just to make sure this is going to work, I'm going to say that my current health is equal to 0.75 times max health, so that it should be 3/4 of the way filled. Now if I go back to my enemy here, I'm going to put my max health at 100, and I'm going to connect my display health signal with the movable UI. And then this is going to be change enemy health value. This is going to get a pass max new max new current. So we'll see if this is going to work. I'm 90% certain it's not, because I'm a little rusty, but let's see. So if I hit play, okay, cool, yeah, 3/4 full. So, back to my enemy script. Instead of just saying it's equal to 75% of max health, I'll just say it's equal to max health. Now, that means that the attacking, which comes from the game grid, which comes from the pieces inside the game grid, needs to tell the enemy to damage itself. So my game grid here is going to get a new signal. We'll call this signal damage. Now I need to know how I was marking these different pieces. So let's open the attack piece. Bar type. So then, if I just go to my scene here, capital A attack. Alright, simple enough. So let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see in the cheap seats. Big old Pete, bit of an echo, okay. Let me see if I can fix that then. I wonder if that's the gain. Alright. Big ol' Pete, is that? Whoa. That seems way worse. You can hear. Good lord. Cat's upstairs. I wonder. Filters. Let's add a filter here. So I don't think I want to do a noise gate. Let's look at the compressor settings. Wow, do I have no idea what this is? I can just randomly, I don't know. Sounds like a filter or a feedback loop. Okay, well I have all of the sound off that would be going through there. Yeah, I do. So if it's a filter, let's actually remove that filter then. No, you're fine, dude. You're not derailing. I'm gonna archive this, so if it's not good, I need to know. Thanks. I'm by far not the best in the world, but thank you for that. I don't know, I'll have to look into that, what would cause an echo with the microphone I'm using, because the microphone is different than the last one I used. An echo with a on Streamlabs. Okay, looks like there's already, we're trying to Streamlabs echo. Click your browser source. Is OBS running in multiple scenes? I don't have my browser source open. Make sure you don't have the pop-out window. Something with the streaming software. Alright, so let's delete this. And does that help? Is that any better? Or is that maybe worse? Okay, I'm gonna check myself here. Is that better? Okay, cool. Loud noise here. All right. Sorry if that loud noise like burst out your eardrums. Okay, cool. Thanks for pointing that out, Big Ol' Pete. All right, so signal, I want to give damage. So when we're matching pieces and I'm destroying the matches, I'm going to make a method, do it down here. Make it, I'm going to need to do this for more than just the attack pieces, so let's make this reusable. Let's call this like collect type. And then this is going to need to know what type to collect. So I'll just pass in type. And then in destroy matches, temp is current matches. Okay. So what I want to do then is collect type, temp.type. I think that's how I referred to it in the pieces. Yep. And then in the game grid, for collect type, did I set up the mana system at all? I didn't. All right, so let's do that. So I'll just do give damage. Let's also do signal, give mana, give money. So that way I can connect those signals to the player. Okay, so let's say if type is attack, then we're going to attack. Emit signal, give damage. And I'll pass in a value here. Just say 1 for every time that we need to give damage. We'll say if type is equal to, what did I call the other types? Well, I don't need to worry about that for right now. So now, let's go out of distraction-free mode. Let's go to game grid node, give damage. We're going to connect that to the enemy. And this is going to take a damage amount argument. And what I want to do is say if, actually let's do damage amount. Current health is less than 0 equals 0, and then we can do like a you win the game or something if that works. And then I also want to emit that signal. Display health. Current health. So yeah, let's try this out. Oh, sorry, I missed those few little sections there. Big Ol' Pete, this is a personal game I was working on. I'm currently calling it Kitty Quark, but that's probably not going to be the actual name. It's a match 3 puzzle game with boss battles. So it's something I just wanted to work on for myself, and it looks like that's actually working. Surprises the heck out of me. Thanks for following along with the Zelda stuff. It seems to be what has gotten me most of the followers that I've gotten, which is awesome. I'm glad to help whenever I can. Like I said, I'm far from the best programmer in the world, so any little bit helps. So yeah. Redden, hello, how are you? I will have more Zelda videos coming soon. I know you're going to ask about that. Thanks, Big Ol' Pete. I've been working on this in one version or another for a while, trying to see what mechanics I like. And so I like this idea of it being like a mix between a card game and a match 3 game, because that's like an actual game that I'd play. Redden, how do you want me to update the save data? What specifically are you looking for? And I also like the idea of having like the player actually have a piece on the board. All right, cool. So that's working. So now let's make some places for the mana and the money. Right. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Like, I'm not a professional programmer, but I am a professional educator, so hopefully that helps. Thank you. It's nice to hear. Okay, so let's do some mana stuff here. Let's go to the immovable UI. And let's make some counters for the mana, which means I'm going to need some fonts. Did I already? Yeah, I already brought in some fonts. Good. So I want like a grid container here for the player's mana. So let's make a child node. It's a grid container. Let's make this, and this will have 2 columns. And I'm going to make a control child node. And this is going to have 2 things as part of it. It's going to have a texture rect, and it's going to have a label. And this should actually probably be, is it the V box? H box. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so now my texture rect, I'm going to go from my art. Let's just go for my blocks, I guess. So, oh wow, this is way too big. So let's change this to just a control node. Well, no, I can leave it a texture rect. I'll give it this gigantic thing. Let's turn on expand and rect. Let's make it like the min size 16 by 16. No, we can go bigger than that. 32 by 32. All right, cool. And then for my label, I'm gonna have that be 000, and let's make a custom font. Let's make it a dynamic font, and let's not make it local to scene. Oh, well, whatever. For font, I have some fonts over here. Let's try Kenny Rocket Square. These are all from, that's futuristic. That's not bad, but it doesn't match what I want. Also not bad, but it doesn't match what I want. That's not bad. Mini square. Let's try high. Since I'm using vector art, all of these pixel art ones don't really match. Let's also change the size. Let's make this 32. That's not too bad. Let's look at future narrow and future. I think I actually like future narrow. Okay, cool. So the reason I'm going through all this trouble here is because let's make our V separation like 16 and our H separation 16. I'm going to take this node, duplicate it, and then these other ones. So like this is going to be for earth mana, and then we'll make this fire mana, water mana. Hey, big guy. My cat just tried to jump up on my desk and he totally biffed it. And then we'll make this one money. So, oh, hey, come on. Come on, I know. Sorry. Okay, so earth mana is fine. Fire mana needs to have its correct texture. So we'll put fire in there, put water in here. Man, he is wanting attention right now. I might need to shut him out of my office. And then money. Alright, that's not too bad. Now I can take this whole grid container. Why is it so gigantic? Okay, well, I guess that's better. Let's give it a left margin of say 32 and a top margin of 32. 32 is probably too much. 24 is good. Okay, cool. Let's save this. Let's see how it looks in game. Buddy, are you gonna make me take you out of the room? Okay. Alright, now, so I got my mana up there. Now what I want to do is read the type when I'm destroying them, just like I was doing with the attack stuff. And I want to emit a signal to the player, because the player should probably keep track of that. The UI should probably only need to know what number to put there. So let's go back to our immovable UI. And this doesn't seem like the best way to do this, but we're going to do it this way anyway. So I've got my player bar, my enemy bar. Already var, we'll call this earth counter. And this is earth mana label. Call this fire counter. That's fire mana label. And water counter is water mana label. And money counter, money label. All right, cool. So just making sure I'm not ignoring chat here. So there we go. All right, now I'm going to let's call it set. Do I want to make a different function for each of those? I think I do. So we'll call this set earth count. Well, no, I do. Set earth counter, and then we're going to have an amount to set it to. And then we'll just do so earth counter.text is equal to, let's amount dot to string, or is it? Good lord. How do I cast to a string in GDScript? I completely forget. It's string and then amount? Yeah, that's super not right. Let me check that out really quickly. How to cast to a string in GDScript. Oh, so that's how we do it. So it's string amount. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to duplicate this. The reason I'm making 4 different functions for it, even though it seems like that shouldn't be the right way to do it, is since I'm using a built-in variable, I don't want to have to pass in an extra argument, because if I'm not making these 4 different functions, I'm going to have, when I'm receiving the signal, I'm going to have something that's like an if, else if, which seems to be about as efficient as what I'm doing here. So water, or fire, water, and money. And this is going to be fire counter, water counter, money counter. That kitten, yeah, he's, holy cow. he's a good boy, but man, he causes some trouble. Alright, so save this, and then let's go back to the game grid, and I wanted to give mana and give money, so these are actually going to go to the player. So what I'm going to set up is a system where the game grid destroys the piece and then tells, if it's damage, it tells the enemy to take damage, and if it's mana or money, it tells the player to increase its money, and then the player will tell the UI to display how much they have. That way the player's keeping all of the player's logic inside of it, which makes more sense. So I'm going to call this main window player. I want this to have its own folder. Okay. Have a good night, Redden. Like, I know if what specifically you need about the save system, please let me know. But have a good night. Okay, so create. So the player needs to know var max health, this doesn't need to be an export. We need to know the current health, current earth mana, current water mana, current fire mana, current money. So set all of those equal to 0 to start. So set the current health equal to the max health. Let's make this a function. Call it setup. Current health equals max health. We'll do current earth mana is 0. Current water mana is 0. Current money is 0. And then we'll just call setup from ready. And then we'll also emit a signal. Let's call this set mana UI. And then we're going to pass in, might as well pass in all of these at once. So we're going to pass in the current earth mana, current fire mana, current water mana, and current money. And then we'll connect this to the UI. And the order was earth, fire, water, money. And then we're going to set earth counter to earth, set fire counter to fire, set water counter to water, and set money counter to money. Okay. And then back in the player script. Okay, so right now it should turn those into zeros, but then it shouldn't work to add anything yet when I destroy the pieces. But yeah, there they are, nice zeros. Okay, so now my game grid needs to connect to give money to the player. And my game grid also needs to connect, give money to the player. All right, so for give mana, this is gonna have a mana type. And then we're gonna say if mana type equals earth, current earth mana plus equals 1. If mana type equals fire, if so it's earth, fire, water. And I'm keeping the money separated in case I want to do, like, I don't know, something special with that. I don't need to. I could put it just right in there. And then this is just going to be current money plus equals 1. And then after I do this, I want to emit signal, set mana UI, current earth mana, current money. There's a better way I could do this. I could have the game board just tell this when it's finalized, and so that I'm not emitting those signals all the time. But I don't think there's a performance issue with doing it like this. And now I need to go back to the game grid. So this is emitting the signal. If type is earth. Emit signal, give mana. Type. Oh, this can just be else. Actually, elif type is not equal to money. And then this should be give mana, else. Give money. So player didn't have, yeah, there's no argument to pass in with that. That makes sense. Okay. Like I said, if you guys have questions about why I'm doing what I'm doing as I'm going on or anything else, feel free to ask. I'm just kind of zoning out this morning. Alright, so now if I go back to my main window, let's see if I broke anything. Okay, so those are 0. Alright, cool. Nice. I 100% was not expecting this to work. Okay. Well, that's weird. That match of 4 only got the first 3. Thanks. I too am also surprised when things work the way I expect them to. Alright, cool. So the idea is when you collect this mana, you'd have like spells down here that use a certain amount. The number on the cursor, so right now I'm using keyboards for it, or the keyboard for it, but so the keyboard control is a node that when I press buttons emits a signal to the game grid to move the player to a different spot on the board. And then when it moves the player to a different spot on the board, it tells the counter to count down. And when the counter reaches 0, it evaluates everything on the board to see if there's matches. And if there are, it destroys them. If there's not, it just goes back to the next state. So the reason I did that this way is because now I have my keyboard control in its own node. So I can make another node and call it like touch control, where instead of having this input as action pressed, I could have it just read a swipe left, right, up, or down. So that's the main idea. So like, and 6 is just kind of a number I just came up with. It could be anything. Like, and that's actually something that you could have your character like increase. See, that one did it too. It only did those 3. You'd have your character get better with over time. Like maybe your character starts only able to do 4 moves, but then you level them up in some way, and now they're able to do 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8, so that it changes your ability to actually do stuff. I wonder if it's going to do it to this one too. Yeah, both of those matches of 4, it only did 3. Huh. I wonder what I'm doing wrong with my logic. I don't want to look at that right now, though. That's something for later. All right, so I guess next I can start looking at the cards. So the only thing I had planned for the cards, I only had one planned. And the cards are all going to have like an elemental affinity, and the enemies are going to have an elemental affinity too. So if you play like a water card, then your enemy, if they're fire, then they'll take extra damage, whereas if they're earth, they'll take less damage, just like in Pokemon. In fact, I even need these little, it's not very effective. Oh, I guess I did not very effective twice. That's weird. I thought I did one that was super effective and one that was not very effective, but I guess I didn't. And then, like, you can have like an icon on your enemy to see what kind of enemy they are. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, we'll see how it works. Let's go to... So did I make... Oh, I did make cards. Okay. So I only made one card. And again, too much of an influence from Pokemon. I called it Hydro Pump. I guess I never played Magicka. But I mean, that elemental affinity, like it's everywhere. Like Fire Emblem has that too with the swords, spears, and whatever it is, axes. Is that what it is? Swords, spears, and axes, or bows, or something. And I really like Fire Emblem, so. Okay, I'm going to make a new scene. 2D. This is going to be a card. And each card is going to need to have a sprite. And I'm going to give this one this texture. I think 160 by 160 is a bit too big, so I'm going to make the scale 0.5 by 0.5. Yeah, Fire Emblem is really good. It's been a while since I finished one. I started a bunch. I started that Tales of Valencia, and I got pretty far in it. I really liked it, but I just didn't get back to it. Yeah, I know. It's coming in June or July. 3 houses. Looks good. And I never had a Wii U, so I never got a chance to play whatever, Fire Emblem Sharp Alpha or something like that. Anyway, we'll call this card image. And then this is probably going to need to have a tween node. The first 3DS one was really good. It was super long, and by the time you got to the end, all the battles feel the same. Path of Radiance, is that the Game Boy Advance one? Not. Sounds good. Alright, so card image. Cool. Save this scene. Make a new folder for cards. Yep. GameCube, okay. Huh. That must be, I bet that's super rare if it's a GameCube Fire Emblem game. Alright, so I want to make a new inherited scene. I'm going to call this card Hydro Pump. So the cards themselves are going to need to have a script. And this is going to have type, so it has an elemental affinity. Let's see, it should have a cost. Yeah, I'm not one to support piracy, but that is definitely something I think would be emulation bait. Totally. Yeah, it's crazy to think how some of those GameCube games are ridiculously expensive now. Okay, so each card is going to have a type, a cost. I don't know about this normal damage versus special damage, because maybe like it's a normal type and it does normal damage, but no special damage, but then normal type affects everything equally. So then here, this is going to be water. And we'll make the cost, what does it say on the actual card that I made? 6. And we'll make the normal damage be something small like 2. And we'll make the special damage 10. I don't know. I'm just making these numbers up. And then we'll save this scene. Alright, cool. Now, to display the cards, I've got my spell doc down here. Let's actually make the hand its own node. Yeah, this is the first spell. So this obviously is not going to be the final version. I'm totally stealing from Pokemon here, but I was going to do like super simple versions, see how they played, see if I liked it or not. So this is going to be the player hand. And I think I want an H box container. And I want that H box container to be at the very bottom of the screen. So how big is my screen? I forget. .1024. Okay, so I want the bottom to be at, and I want right to be at, wait, what was it? 576. I want the top, I'm just gonna pull this down. So it's right there. 838 sounds fine. I'll probably change this. And then in the HBox container, I'm gonna add a instance of child scene. Ugh, that's way too small. Let's go back to card. Save that. Yeah, you should be bigger now. Let's delete the node. That's better. So let's move this so that the card image has a different position. Let's put its position at 8080. I want to do this for the card, not the unique one, but okay. I'm gonna actually give this a little bit of a margin. Okay, that's weird. Let's see how this looks. It's not too bad. I could probably fit 3 of these at a time. And then, so the loop would be move around, pieces get destroyed, and then before this gets reset, you could play a card. And then it would be the enemy's turn. Well, actually, maybe you could play as many cards as you could actually have mana for. And then maybe there'd be like a deck building section. That was weird too, because it got this one, but it didn't get that one. It should have gotten both of them. I don't want to fix it right now, though. Alright, so... Right, so now you'd have enough to actually play Hydro Pump. So we could do something like... What would feel right to play it if you clicked and dragged it onto the board? That way you could bring it back, and then if you let go... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So if you click it, we want it to follow your mouse around. And then if you let go on the board, we'll cast it. And if you let go anywhere else, like up here or down here, it'll go back to its home place. That's not a bad idea. Now I'm wondering why, when I duplicated this... Oh, it's because... That's why. So my separation... Let's make it like 180. Nope, that's not why. Because I want it to be like this. Where you'd have your 3 cards, and I thought the HBox container would make that happen, but apparently not. Maybe I'll just have to do like place 1, place 2, place 3. Yeah, maybe that would be better. Okay. So I'm going to delete these extra hydro pumps. And then I'm going to make this child of the player hand. I'm going to delete this from the scene. And then I'm going to make a couple node, well, position 2Ds. And we'll call this like position 1. Position 1, position 2, and position 3. So I want position 1 to be like there. $16,838. So we'll make this yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then if I instance child scene. Okay. It doesn't look too bad. Let's actually put just a tiny bit more space in between these. So let's go 200. And let's go 384. Tiny bit more. That looks better. Let's see how this looks here. It might be a problem though, because like if your thumb is reaching for the board, you might accident. Well, no, because if we keep it to like stages, that'll be fine. So like you can only move when you can move, and then you can cast spells when you can cast spells. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So, let's go to the card now. So I want it to know when it's selected. So we'll make a variable for that. And default it to false. Call these interaction variables. Our previous position, because I want it to know where it's supposed to be. Let's just not set that right now. And then do I want to use a tween for target position? I don't. I'm going to put the tween node under the effect variables. And that's going to be used to make it smaller when it disappears, or have it kind of appear from nothing. So, okay, so when we I wonder, could I actually just make this a if I make this an area 2D, I think it knows if you click on it. Yeah, you know mouse entered. So instead of making, let's add a child node. Collision shape 2D, and this is going to get a new rectangle shape, and its extents are going to be, so this is going to have a transform of 80/80. Okay. And then the area 2D node will know if the mouse enters it. And we can do like a little pop up or pop down. Let's actually try that. Let's see how that's going to work. So let's take the mouse entered, let's connect it to itself. Let's do like a little pop-up effect. So pop up. And then this is going to take the I want to take the tween property, and I want to do it on self. I want to do the transform, and I've already forgotten what transform is called. Position. The initial property is going to be position. Final is going to be position plus vector 2. move 0 on X, but we'll move negative 24 on Y. I'll have this take 0.3 seconds. We'll do bounce, and we'll ease out. And then we'll do between dot start. So on mouse entered, we'll do, the other thing I want to do is I want to save its previous position. So, and then we'll do something for when mouse exits called pop down. Down. Between dot interpolate property self. And I'm going to go from position to previous position. 0.3 seconds. Do bounce again. Between dot ease out. Between dot start. So then this is going to be for when mouse exits. I've actually never done this before, but I think this is going to work. We'll find out. We'll do hop down. All right, let's go back to our main window here. Let's hit play. Oh, okay. Well, no. That's fine. I wonder if I forgot to save. That's cool. Alright, let's try it with the main window now. Aw. I'm going to delete these and put new ones in. Okay. I'm just going to put in one new one. Actually, no, let's go all the way. Let's do a bunch of them. Okay. Save all scenes. That's weird, because it's working in the hydro pump scene itself. Is it working in the card scene? I wonder why it wouldn't be working here. I wonder if it's because I use position instead of global position. I'm spending a lot of time on this, but it bugs me that this isn't, because it's working just fine here. little pop-up, pop-down. And it's working just fine here. I wonder if something's blocking it. That doesn't make any sense though. What happens if I just put these outside of everything? So like there, and then just pop that up there. Let's try it with a click then. So how do you do that event part? So area 2D, Godot, input event. Not a question. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's not use this input event. Let's say that when we mouse enter, I'm going to copy all this, paste it down here. Let's say that on mouse entered, we're going to take our selected variable and set it to be true. And on mouse exit, we're going to set selected to be false. And then in process delta, actually let's make, I think I already made something for it. So I did down, no, let's make a new one. UI touch, add mouse button, left button. So how do I do input on here? I've totally forgotten. Keyboard control. Input is action just pressed. And so if is action just pressed, touched, and I also wanted to okay, so let's try this now. Okay, so let's go back to our main window. See, it's not registering it, but they're at the bottom of everything. Let's just move all of them down here. So there shouldn't be anything blocking the raycast. But it's registering it just fine in here. I wonder if it's this UI part right here, or if it's the spell doc. Background, game board. Yeah, that's what it was. Huh. It's a cool effect though. I really like it. So let's turn the background back on, but let's take this and make it part of the immovable UI. And then let's put this on layer -1. No, let's not do that. Let's go to all of this. Let's make the UI a canvas layer. So change type. And then let's put the UI on -1. And then where'd the game board go? Oh, because the background's ahead of it, that's why. Okay, let's try this now. Hmm. Hmm. Let's fix that really quickly. So we only want to pop up if not selected. Then we only want to pop down if, no, we want to pop up if selected. And we only want to pop down if not selected. So let's try that now. Okay, so that's weird. If I take my mouse out up here, it doesn't register it. But if I take my mouse out over here, it does. Huh. I wonder if that has to do with the game board. Let's just make all of those UI elements invisible. Yeah, it does. Huh. That's really weird. So UI elements blocking area 2D in Godot. Okay, well, I guess for now I'm just going to have to leave that be. Yeah, turn these back on. I'm going to save everything. I need to go run some errands, so it's been really cool hanging out with y'all. You guys have been pretty awesome. Stay frosty. I'm going to leave this archive up for a while, and I'll also post it to my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I have a Patreon. If you want to check that out, it's patreon.com/MrTaftCreates. There's a Discord. People are super great there. So, yeah, I guess I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to be doing another stream like this on Saturday. I don't know if I'll do any development on this game in between now and then because I have some other stuff I need to work on, but we will see. So, everybody have yourselves a wonderful day.